the second to last Bible verse that we're going to do today is 1 Corinthians 10:13. God will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear.
Mm-hmm.
And the misuse is applied to say God won't give more hardship than you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give context to this verse?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before.
On the podcast?
I feel like we have. We talk about this?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a super common one.
Yeah.
Because the underlying thought of that verse of God won't give you more than you can handle is essentially anything that you experience, he's given you the ability to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that means if you're I've told this story before that we knew somebody from our church in Minneapolis who their daughter was getting married, and they had like a pre-wedding party or something with the bridesmaids.
Mm-hmm.
And so the daughter who was getting married, her two sisters were driving to the wedding, and they like slid off the road, and they all three of the daughters died.
Oh my.
And this lady wrote this book, and that's the one example that comes to my mind is, you know, so this lady, this is not too much for you to bear. You should have to understand this. Like, God said he wouldn't give you more than you could handle.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew you could handle your three daughters being killed on the night of one of your daughter's weddings.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty strong, aren't you? That's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolute lunacy to say that kind of stuff. That's the logical end to that promise.
Mm-hmm.
Is that means anything that happens to you when a loved one dies, when somebody you love gets cancer and dies. Oh, God said that God knew that in His plan and His purpose for your life, you can handle this, so you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to tap into the strength. That's just, it's not there. It's not there.
Mm-hmm.
The real understanding in that verse is that part. You want to read it again?
Yeah, sure. God will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear.
There's more to that.
Okay.
Then will with the temptation also give you, what is the passage? First Corinthians 10:13.
10:13. Yeah.
So no temptation has taken you, which is not common to man. So temptation is common. God is faithful. You're not tempted beyond your ability. And so that's where the misuse of that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Your ability to deal with your problems, but that's not what he's talking. He's talking about the temptation to sin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's not. It's a different problem we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
It's often connected with that.
Mm-hmm.
You won't give you too much. But the next part, the second part of that verse says, but with the temptation to sin, he will also provide a way to escape, that you may be able to endure it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
So endurance is the key
Mm-hmm.
to go through it. Like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The purpose was to go through it
Mm-hmm.
because he's with you, and there's always a way of escape. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a plan. God has a plan through the suffering, not
Mm-hmm.
to just take the suffering away, which he can do and does do, perform miracles, performs healings, heals hearts, heals bodies, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That God still does those things. But if he doesn't do it exactly how we think, there is an out. There is a way out with
Mm-hmm.
is an understanding it. We prayed on Sunday morning. We prayed for healing. We had our prayer team come down, and we prayed for healing for people. And I said, and maybe some of you won't get a miracle, like the pain that you feel in your leg or your back or headache, whatever you're going through, maybe that won't be taken away. but maybe the stress of why that pain is there, God will take that away. And that's a miracle enough for you to be like, God, when are you going to heal me? Well, maybe the miracle you need is being able to say, like, man, I prayed with this person. They prayed over me. We agreed together, and I'm just going to trust God now.
Yeah.
And that's a miracle too.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, so yeah, the misuse of this verse really is just that you insert something in place of tempted
Yeah,
beyond.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
God will not let you go through this beyond what you can bear.
Yeah.
But it's specifically talking about temptation,
Yeah.
and he gives you an escape. Okay.
Yeah. Because the logical conclusion to that philosophy is that anything that happens to you was God's will. The planes hitting the towers, the bombing in Oklahoma. Well, God is going to work good through that somehow. Maybe nope.
Yeah.
Maybe nope.